Miss Jennifer, and I apologize for not keeping up with my videos too much here in the last 10 days or so, but uh, we had my daughter's graduation at Liberty University, and I was flying. I did a live when we were in the airport at LAX with my husband and my in-laws as we were traveling to the East Coast, and now I'm traveling back home. My family went on ahead. My husband Kevin and my in-laws flew home as scheduled, but I had the opportunity to stay a couple days longer. My parents live in Maryland, so I got to drive my daughter and her husband out to. They were having another vacation before she has to start work because she's lucky enough to have a job that's going to start May 15th in her major field of study, social work. So I'm really proud of her about that. And she worked hard for this, so I'm really glad that she's able to enjoy some time uh, vacationing with her husband. It's kind of like this is their first anniversary trip, so they wanted to make it special because who knows when they're going to have that opportunity again. But in any case, the best flight for her to leave out of was BWI, which was about 4.5 hours away from Lynchburg. So by me going ahead and driving them up and then spending a few days with my parents, I was able to spend more time with my daughter, save her some time, and getting up to BWI. Didn't have to worry about paying for her car to be stored here at BWI, and then I was able to take care of some other business-related things in Maryland because we have a building. I used to own a consignment store, and we own the building as well before we moved out to California, and we still own the building, and we had tried selling it when we first left in 2019, and unfortunately it didn't sell. So we were very lucky to have a renter for the last couple of years, and she was renting the whole building. We had an apartment and we had a retail space, but she's getting married, so I'm really happy for that. But unfortunately, that means that she doesn't need the apartment. So we are going to put it, rather than putting it on the market again, this time we're going to auction it. So if you are interested in learning more about a investment opportunity in Boonesboro, Maryland, it is a conservative area of the state. Boonesboro has great schools. My daughter went to school there for middle school and high school, and blue ribbon schools, very good schools. And they also have a program in Washington County where you can do STEM middle college, and you can get an associate's degree while you're still a high school student, and kind of get a head start on college. And that's what our daughter did. She was able to get an associate's concurrent with her high school diploma. So anyhow, great schools, great investment opportunity. There's a lot of building going on in Boonesboro. They've got new housing developments that are happening. They've got a new elementary school that's going to be built to help accommodate the kids coming in. They've also got a new post office. The post office is built. They still have some finishing touches to do on that, but I understand there's also going to be a Tractor Supply that's going to be built, an Ace Hardware store that is going to be added to the town. So just a lot going on. So this is really a great time to own a very solid building. It's right on Main Street. It's got great retail potential, but it also can be used for a service location. So if you've got like an accountant, a real estate office, that sort of thing, that could all be put into that building as well. And it is going to be auctioned by Cochran Auction, and the scheduled date is June 28th. And I did do some walkthrough video on that, but I'm going to probably do some editing on that just to kind of make it not be so long and rambling. So keep an eye out for that, and start looking into your financing on that. We have been very blessed with that property because that property had been in the same family in Boonesboro since it was built in 1924, and it was owned by the Harrisons. And there's actually a picture of the um, the the owner who owned it before us, we call his name is Mr. Harrison, and his mother was on the old-fashioned picture, and she and another girl are photographed in front of that building on a book that's been published, and I think it was called Images of Boonesboro. It's a series where they have these little books about different small town America uh, towns, around the country. And this one was featuring Boonesboro, and it was our building on that cover and Mr. Harrison's mother as a little child in front of that building. And it's been so many things throughout the years. It has been a gas station, a convenience store, a flea market, a car dealership, a garage, um, a real estate uh, office, just a number of things, but it had always been owned by the Harrisons. And right before we purchased it, Mr. Harrison's mother was actually had been living in the apartment, and then Mr. Harrison decided to sell because his mother was getting older and she had then needed assisted living, so she was no longer in the apartment. And Mr. Harrison and his wife had another house in town, and and anyhow, he was this really blessed us. Mr. Harrison did, because when we purchased the property, he agreed to finance it for us because he owned it outright. It had been in the family since 1924. And sometimes it's difficult to get a commercial loan, especially if you are a new business. And so that was a huge blessing for us to be able to do that. Well, we owned it. We purchased it in 2008, and we did several improvements to it. We built a deck on the back, so it had a rear entrance, which it didn't have when we purchased it. We also built a really large 1,900 square foot workshop in the back of the property. So I'll show you pictures and everything on all of that. So keep an eye out for that. It should be coming. I'll have that posted within the next few days. And of course, it'll be on Cochrane's website. Just look up Cochrane Auctions and it'll be available there. But here's the really great, wonderful thing of me having been up there this past week and informing Mr. Harrison that we're going to be putting up his beloved building up for auction. And I knew that that would be something that he should hear directly from me, because we are still paying on it, because it was like a 15-year note, and our 15 years isn't up yet, so we were still paying on it. And the person that is currently renting from us is Fetch Thrift Shop, and it's a great little store, and it's a great mission too. They take in, it's a nonprofit. They take in donations, and they have a lot of volunteers that work there. She has a few paid employees as well, but they want to have as many volunteers as possible, because 100% of the net proceeds go to help the Humane Society, so helping animals and cats and dogs and things find homes. So that's a really good thing to do. But anyhow, part of her problem in purchasing the property was that it is difficult to get a commercial mortgage when you are a new business. So she was having the same problem that we were having. And I told Mr. Harrison that, and he said, well, if she wants to bid on it, then let her know that he'll carry the note. So the amount that we still owe on the property is $113,000 thereabouts. So he is willing to re-amortize it, because right now we only had what do we have? We have about 5 years left on it, I think, 4 years, and he's willing to amortize it for a 10-year period at 4% interest for the remaining balance, which I believe is somewhere around $113,000. So whatever it goes for at auction, let's say it sells for $400,000. Well, less the $113,000 he's willing to finance, then you'd only have to come up with the difference in cash. Now, because he's a private lender, basically, he wants to be the only lender on there. So, if no other loan could be put on that property. Now, if you own a home that is appreciated in value quite a bit, and you've recently sold it and you want to, have a property where you can live in the apartment upstairs, run a business downstairs, then um, use the proceeds from that home, and you could put down that, the cash of that difference, and then again the 113,000 could be amortized over 10 years at 4% interest, which is somewhere around $1,200 a month. So very good price to have a commercial space and an apartment. You can rent out the apartment, live in, if you have another home already, you rent out both places. There's so many things that you can do with this property that you'll really want to check into that. And I hope that you'll consider, if you, even if you're not in Maryland, consider moving to Maryland. It is a very nice area of the country, very beautiful, and we really enjoyed it there. So consider that. And know that he has extended that offer of carrying the note to anyone who wins the auction. The only caveat is that no other loan can be on there. So enough about that, and I hope that you'll consider it. But another thing I wanted to share with you is just some ramblings while I am waiting to board, because I got here early. It's about an hour from my home to get over here to beat it. Well, not my home, my parents' home. And my sister drove me out here, and so she's on her way back. My husband is in California, asleep, because it's 5 o'clock here, so it's like 2 o'clock in California. So I just thought I'd ramble a bit on YouTube, because it's been a little while since I've been on here. And I had an opportunity also to get my mom on, so I hope you'll check out that video also, where she gives us a tour of her garden. And then I'll have another couple other small videos where she goes into a little bit more detail on some various gardening tips. And I really would love to have you all encourage her to start her own YouTube channel, because I think that she would enjoy doing that, and getting the feedback from the viewers. And I think she's got a lot to offer, and I really would like to see her on YouTube more, because I just would, when you're cross country, it's just really nice to have some more interaction with your parents with video and everything, and getting to hear their wisdom and having it recorded for posterity. And I would love to share that with you as well. Oh, let me see, what else did I want to share with you all? So again, this is now no longer having to wear masks. So all the TSA agents still are, which I feel badly for them. But I'd say good 75, 80%, 90% of the people who are flying are not wearing masks. And I really like that, because I am so tired of wearing the mask. Driving over here, my sister had an observation that she said, we think as Americans that Canadians are very friendly people, but she had read a survey somewhere where the rest of the world thinks that Americans are the friendliest nation, because we will just talk to anyone and start up a conversation. And she made the observation that is what kind of binds us together. When you just strike up conversations with strangers, and you share your perspectives and things, and people kind of get your thoughts on stuff, where you're from, your whole medical history, politics, religion, whatever. You can just talk to a perfect stranger while you're waiting in line at the airport, whatever. But it kind of helps keep us together as a country, when we're 50 different states and scattered all throughout. And I made the observation that is something that we've really been missing these last couple of years, where everybody has masks on and you can't really hear very well when people are talking to you through the mask. And of course, people working from home, not going out as much. Everything is telecommuting and buying things online. And so I hope that we can get back to that, where we're not so divided, and we can get along better and see each other as human beings, individuals. Everybody's worthy of, they have value. But And yeah, things are getting busier here at the airport. When I got in, it was probably about 4:30. It only took me about 15 minutes to get through security. Oh, that's fun. Something funny I want to share with you. So I've been making these canisters, and the for dehydrating or vacuum sealing dehydrated food. And if you purchased one, please know that I have a lot ready to go out. I just need to finish making the lids for them, and I will be getting caught up on that very quickly. And I really apologize for how long it's taken me to get them out, but I should be on time with when you ordered them. I had some that were set for 3 weeks, some that were set for 4 weeks out, just because I received a lot more orders than what I was expecting. And so I apologize that I wasn't prepared for that, but I kind of like to make things as I go, and the cost of materials is such that I just didn't want to invest too much in it and then find that I didn't have that many orders, and then I'd invested all this money in materials. And so anyhow, I was just completely overwhelmed and blessed, and I really appreciate all the orders that I've gotten, and I will get those out very quickly as soon as I get back. So expect those to be coming out, and you will get a tracking number. If you have any questions, or if you can't wait and you need to have a refund, that's fine. Just let me know, and I'll get those out to you. But in any case, I brought one of those vacuum sealing chambers with me, and I had put my sister's cookies. She made cookies for me, chocolate chip cookies. My sister's chocolate chip cookies are the best. So I put them in the canister because I had it in my backpack, and in the past when I have taken her cookies home, because she does this for me all the time, I really appreciate it, but they get jostled around in the backpack, and then they become just crumbs, which are still good and they don't go to waste. But I thought, oh, I've got this canister, I think the cookies would go great in there and they would be protected. So I put the cookies in there. So I go through security, and everything goes through except for they made me take the canister out, because they said if you have food and water or whatever, you have to have the food separate. So the food was separated out, and that did not make it through. And I see that they want me to, it's going through a secondary check. So they're looking through this, through the pictures and everything, and it's got this canister with a handle on it, and you can see that there's something, you can't quite make out what it is inside. And the gentleman's looking at it, and he's like, looks very serious. He's like, what is in there? So I tell him, well, it's cookies. And he says, well, can you open that for me? So I open it up and show him the cookies, and you can smell that she just made them last night. So they're still kind of, you definitely smell the freshly baked cookies. And so he looks at them, and I'm afraid he's like going to confiscate my cookies. And he's like, all right, you can go. So I put the cookies in there, and we go. And I tell my sister, I called her up, and I'm like, you almost cost me, going through security here with the cookies in the canister. But anyhow, it all worked out. Yeah, I think I need to get back over to my gate. I kind of moved a little bit away because things are getting filled up here, but I'm going to head over to my gate, and should be getting on the plane soon. God bless. I appreciate every one of you, and please leave comments down below on what your thoughts are. If you've been traveling, what do you think about what binds us together as Americans, and is there any hope for us to get back together and not be so divided in the future? And how are we going to get there? I don't know. Anyhow, God bless. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.